Hi, welcome everyone. We have many precious natural resources and water is one of them. It covers 70% of Earth's surface and makes up approximately 60 to 70% in our bodies. And this amazing natural resource is very essential for us, not only for us and also to plants, animals and to all living beings. In our previous sessions, we already learned different water sources we have and activities we do with water. And also, we learned how to save water. But to do all these things, water needs to be replenished. It needs to be purified and circulated again and again. So, one has to do this work. Do you know who will do this work? It's our nature. Yes, our nature does this job through a process called water cycle. So, in today's session, we are going to learn about water cycle. Under this topic, we are going to cover what is water cycle and what are the major steps involved here and the significance of this process. Earth's water is always in movement. This we call it as water cycle, and it can also be called as hydrologic cycle. It means there is a continuous movement of water on above and below the surface of Earth. And during this process we can see three states of water. They are liquid state, that is in the form of water, gaseous state, that is water vapor, and solid state in the form of ice. The major steps involved here are evaporation, condensation, precipitation and runoff. Water cycle starts with evaporation. It takes place wherever there is exposed water. Say for example on the surfaces of oceans, rivers, lakes like this. Water absorbs heat energy from the sun and then turns into water vapor, then goes into the air. Evaporation can happen at any temperature, but warm water evaporates faster than cold water. Say for example, you just boil the water and see, you can see streams rising from the surface. So this is a fast and visible evaporation. Water bodies like oceans, seas, lakes and the river bodies are the main sources of evaporation. In this stage of water cycle, we can see two states of water, that is liquid to gas. Apart from evaporation, sublimation also contributes water vapors into the air. Mainly in this process, ice directly converts into water vapors without converting into liquid water. So, main sources of sublimation are the ice sheets of north and south poles and ice caps on the mountains. But this process is rather slower than evaporation. Transpiration is a process which is very similar to evaporation. Here, plants plays a major role. We know that roots of the plants absorbs water, right? Then pushes it towards the leaves. Now, these leaves use this water for photosynthesis. And the extra water has to be moved out of the leaves through the stomata in the form of water vapors. In this way, plants and trees also take part in water cycle. Second stage is condensation. Here, water vapors in the air rise and reaches upper atmosphere. Because of cold temperature here, water vapors releases heat and cool down. Now, water vapors turn back to liquid again. Now, these fine water droplets come close together to form clouds and fogs in the sky. And this entire process is called as condensation. And the next step is precipitation. When too much water has condensed, these water droplets in the clouds become too big and heavy for the air to hold. So now air cannot hold any more water. It precipitates down to the earth as rain, snow, hail or sleet. And this process is called as precipitation. Now precipitation is collected in the bodies of water such as rivers, lakes, oceans, like this. From here, water again evaporates back into the air. In this way, water cycle begins all over again. As a part of precipitation, we have already seen water flows across ground and collects in oceans, rivers or lakes. So, this water is called as surface runoff. On the other hand, some water soaks or infiltrates into the soil. From here, water will slowly move through the ground, eventually reaches rivers or oceans. Again, the same story of beginning the water cycle all over again. Significance of water cycle. Water cycle is extremely important because it provides us fresh water, and you just imagine if water didn't recycle, we would run off clean water, which is extremely important to our lives. Now we'll see summary for today's topic. Earth contains 97% of salt water and the fresh water is only 3%. Out of this, 2% exists in the form of ice caps and glaciers. Thus, only 1% of Earth's water is available for living beings. Surprisingly, water cycle has no starting nor an ending point. For this entire process, sun acts like a driving force. Water cycle depends on the energy from the sun. Water in the cycle is made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Its chemical formula is H2O. Do you know water is constantly being recycled? So the water you drink today could be the same water maybe dinosaurs drank million years ago. Plants also contribute to the process of evaporation and it is called as transpiration. The combination of evaporation and transpiration is evapotranspiration. Sometimes water may convert directly into gaseous state from ice or snow without melting into liquid. So this process is called as sublimation. Hot water tends to evaporate faster than cold water. Whenever water changes from one state to another and moves from one place to another, it either gives off energy or absorbs energy. Industrial development, urbanization, dams construction, deforestation, groundwater extraction and pollution. These are the few activities which affects the efficiency and quality of water cycle. So, in order to increase the quality of water cycle, we must protect our environment. Thanks for watching Science Dizzy Camp. If you like this video, hit a like button, comment below and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.